My review of the Megadeth album, The World Needs a Hero. It was released in 2001 and produced by Dave Mustaine and Bill Kennedy. So this album has another lineup change. Al Pitrelli replaces Marty Friedman on guitar, which I think makes this the only album of this lineup. This was an album that I bought online pretty recently, probably like within a year or two ago. So I don't have a lot of history with this album. I actually couldn't find a new copy of it. I had to buy an older copy on eBay. So yeah, this album, I've listened to it kind of a lot in like the lead up to doing this, and I've listened to it quite a few times like right after I got it, and really to me this is one of their albums that makes like the least amount of impression every time I listen to it. It's not that I think it's like a horrible album or anything. It's just it doesn't I don't know, the songs don't leave like any big impact on me for the most part. The album opens with Disconnect, which I actually think is a pretty good opener. It's got a cool riff. I like the drums. Not the lyrics I like pretty well. I kind of like how at the end he says disconnect, like just as the song kind of ends. So I think it's a pretty strong opener. Second track, The World Needs a Hero, has a lot of cool drums in it. I like the guitars in it as well. The lyrics are kind of goofy, but in an entertaining sort of way. Some voice keeps coming in and saying something about I think it's like the White House is calling him or something, and he's like, tell him I'll call him back, and it's just kind of goofy, but when Dave pulls off goofy, he does it great. So that track I kind of like. Third track, Motorcycle. This one, it's catchy in a repetitive sort of way, and I'm not really sure whether I like that or not yet. I don't know, it's one of the tracks on the album that kind of gets stuck in my head, and I really haven't decided whether I like it or find it annoying. I think I kind of like it, but I don't know, it's just a weird song, and not really sure where I stand on it completely. Then the fourth track, 1,000 Times Goodbye. This one I'm not really a fan of. It's got these voices throughout it. It's chick saying things, and then I don't know if it's Dave or whoever saying stuff back, and that's kind of going on over the song. And for me, whenever Megadeth does that sort of thing, it just doesn't work. So yeah, it's not a fan of the voices and stuff in this. Yeah, if it just were down to the music of the song and the song itself, then I'd probably just find it kind of a forgettable song, but not bad. But those voices and stuff that go throughout it kind of kill it for me. Just really cheesy and not in a good way. Fourth track, Burning Bridges, has some cool guitar in it. I like the guitar solo. It's kind of weird how he sings all the time. It's like he kind of gives up halfway through saying time and just kind of does this gurgling scream type of noise. But yeah, that one's interesting. Not really a favorite, but I kind of like it. Sixth track, Promises. This one has orchestration in it, which I think it works well in terms of how it kind of contrasts with the gruffness of Dave's vocal delivery. So I kind of like that song, but yeah, I didn't really talk about, I guess, in the beginning on how this album seems to be kind of a little bit of a reaction to Risk. They kind of reset after Risk, because I feel up to that point with the classic lineup, it seemed like they were going on a pretty straightforward trajectory, and then they kind of hit Risk, and that fails, and then they kind of try to reset here, but at the same time it's they don't go all the way back to being heavy here. They're still kind of trying to do some poppy stuff and bring in this orchestration and some weird things. So kind of a weird choice to me that they did that, and I don't know. This album is just kind of a weird transitional album, I feel like. Seventh track, Recipe for Hate, ... Warhorse, kind of a weird title. It's got cool guitar. Dave kind of sings half of it, and then he kind of in the middle of it turns into a more normal type of song. Not bad. I kind of like that one. The eighth track, Losing My Senses, has a cool riff. It's got this one part where he kind of the way he sings kind of countered to the guitar is kind of weird, but kind of sounds cool. And I like the guitars throughout that whole song, so that one is one that I like. The ninth track, Dread and the Fugitive Mind. Was the only track I knew going into this from the greatest hits. And I've always liked this one. I like the kind of like start-stop thing that it does in the beginning. Catchy song, probably my favorite track on the album. The 10th track, Silent Scorn, is an instrumental that, like, to me almost sounds like it's, I don't know, like from a Western. It's like metal Western music. It's fine. The 11th track, Return to Hangar, sequel to Hangar 18, and like most sequels, it's not quite as good as the original, but I do like it. I think it's kind of a minor highlight. I think it's cool how the music's different, but they kind of fit in some of the like lyrical references to the first song. It's a pretty catchy song. I like that one. And then the 12th and final track, Win, is a 9-minute song. I think it's the longest Megadeth song, and that's really all I have to say about it. It's a really long song, and like just doesn't really do much for me. I can't think of anything from it. Like I just can't remember it at all. So not a great way to close the album. Megadeth World Needs a Hero is honestly probably my least favorite of their albums that I've reviewed to this point. It just strikes me as kind of a transitional album where it doesn't really seem like Dave knows where he wants to go. Like I kind of would have expected, like after Risk and the way it performed, that they would have gone back to just like really heavy. But this one doesn't really do that. It's kind of like in between being really heavy and then still kind of trying to do some other stuff. So, I mean, I don't think it's a bad album. I just don't think it's very memorable, and I don't think it like quite has the songs that some of the other albums have. And it's their longest album, which I think makes it drag a little bit, especially with that 9-minute song at the end that really just kind of does nothing. So I wouldn't recommend starting here. I don't think it's a bad album. I think that if you like Megadeth and have gone through all the other albums, then I would check it out. But definitely not